Our producer said we're good on questions from our audience, so I'll ask Jude, our amazing producer, to run our first one. And this comes from Saline, who wants to know, what did you think when you first read the script for Lucifer? And Aimee, I'll ask you to start us off.
I thought it was really funny, kind of just to piggyback what Welling was saying. You know, it's a crime-solving devil. Sounds so ridiculous, and it's so cheeky, and it sounds like it would never work in a million years. But somehow, it's like random ingredients that make a great meal. I thought it was very funny, and I thought it was also very smart in that it's like, wow, the devil is looking for redemption and forgiveness. So if someone like that can be forgiven, any one of us can be forgiven. So I thought it kind of hit that sweet spot of humor, heart, and just making you think, which I think is part of the reason, you know, we're here in season 6. I thought it was very funny. That was my first gut.
Absolutely. DB, how about you?
I didn't like it. Just to be honest, I can't lie. I read the script and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm just being really honest.
That's fine, bro.
I had no idea where it was going to go. I'm very happy I was wrong. I love the character of Amenadiel. I love the character of Lucifer, and I love the character of Maze. But I loved the celestial characters, but I didn't understand the comedy at the time. Until the show started to really, when we got picked up. And, well, I mean, honestly, when we started shooting the pilot and I actually got a chance to see what people were doing, then I thought, wow, this is something different. And that's when it reminded me of a small little show. I'm not sure if any of you heard of it, called Buffy. So that's actually when it started to remind me of Buffy. And then I was like, oh, I get it now. But that was my honest first reaction, and thank God I was wrong.
Tricia, how about you?
Well, when they first sent me the first episode of season 2, along with the offer, I read it, and all I do is say, "Help me" at the very end, as I fall out of an elevator. I'm like, can you give me a little bit more to go on what this character is? Not the script, but the character. So they gave me episode 2, which of course is was Slutty Dress on Fire or something, which was a lot more extensive for Mom, and I loved it immediately. But similar to what Aimee said, I mean, the scripts, they meld so well, the humor and the smart one-liners that kind of catch you off guard because they're just hysterical, but then also with really heartfelt stories of love and redemption and pain and growth, and so I like how they weave it all together.
Excellent. How about you, Tom? Reaction the first time you got the script?
Well, I had the privilege that DB didn't have, where I could watch the show and get a sense of the tone and the comedy. All their scripts are well written, but at the same time they're brought to life by all these actors. And it's one of those shows for me where you can't picture anyone else playing the characters than the actors that they cast. I think Ellis, for sure, like who the hell else can do that but him? And I thought that's very impressive, and to work with him, I just learned a lot, and I was like, wow, I couldn't do what he's doing, and I really like what he's doing, so I'm just going to play along with it. I got to play against a lot of it, which is fun to do as well. But, they write, great stuff. But for me, I got to sort of hear it a little bit easier when I read it than maybe someone who hadn't seen the show yet. So I was lucky.
Absolutely. Lesley, our thanks to your helper there who gave it.
My husband stole my charger from my computer from here. Last night, little shit. Sorry. I
love how like the pre-beat is like, I'm to do this convention. I only ask one thing: no one come into the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually did like it. I wasn't a comic book. I didn't grow up with comic books. I grew up in Cape Town, South Africa. I mean, we were just trying to survive life in the 80s, to be honest. We didn't have
You were living your own comic life.
What?
Yeah.
You're living your own comic book life, like trying to fucking be superheroes and stuff.
Yeah, and so, but I did research a little bit on, the character of Mazikeen, and one image I fell in love with particular was her kissing another girl and giving the finger to a bunch of angels, like in heaven, and I was like, whoa, she's kind of like a badass and it was very progressive for obviously the time that the comic book was written in. And they were these giant graphic novels, and I always thought comic books were like Archie, with like him, and I wasn't as well versed in the world, but the pilot itself I thought was really funny. I was a huge Tom Capanos fan. I thought like the dark humor and taking like a really irredeemable character, in both religion and history, being the devil, and then finding humanity within that. Like, I think it raised a lot of questions for me, and it was very thought-provoking in where the show might be able to go. And I thought it was really funny. And I actually wrote Jeff Johns, who I knew because I'd done a guest spot on Gotham. And I was like, hey, Jeff, I just read this pilot. This is really funny. Like, I had no idea that, like, the devil could be this hilarious. But again, like everyone else, it wasn't until I got there and we started experimenting. And I think the show took a minute to, like, find its tone and to integrate the, like, big themes that we had and these big, like, characters with the humor. So I often say I feel bad for sometimes those guest actors in the first season while we were still trying to find our feet, because to try and explain the tone of Lucifer at that time was like, well, it's not quite that, and it's not quite this. And,
I don't know, just go with it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the magic happens, and we kind of like find it. So I was really happy with, obviously season to season now how characters have been able to progress beyond what that initial, like, first kind of script was,
Absolutely. Well, going to Jeff Johns is never wrong if you want a comic book consultation, since he is one of the preeminent comic book writers of our time and is now moving over to producing Stargirl and Shazam. So good tactical choice, I think. Mm-hmm. So Kevin, how about you?
Yeah, I think like to piggyback on what Lesley Ann was saying. I think we're still trying to find our grounds too. What's a testament to their writing, a testament to what they're doing with our show, is that I think all of us collectively as actors are constantly finding new things about who we are. As by we, I mean the characters, about who we are, and I think it's it's a good testament to the writing of trying to still find our footing even on the 6th season. But for me, I didn't read the script until until our table read. Because remember, I had the privilege of watching the pilot already. So I showed up.
That's what Lieutenant Dan would do.
What's that?
I feel like that's what Dan would do.
Absolutely. I'm gonna feel this out. Yeah. So I did. Sitting in the table read for the first time, listen to everyone do their characters and where it's going. And one of the one nugget that really stuck out in my head was the moment that Tom said, "Detective Douche," and the only thing I could think about for the entire rest of the fucking reading was, "Damn it, that's gonna stick." They're gonna know me as Detective Douche. I know it. And lo and behold, here we are.
Was that not in the script, Detective Douche?
Yeah, but remember, I didn't read it until we got on the.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Well, I mean, that carried on to season 3, where I mispronounced your character's name, and then you guys were like, "No, keep doing it."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Esperanza. It's Esperanza. And that stuck. That was the good one.
Yeah. Celine, thank you. That was a great question to start us off with.